Hello, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please subscribe and keep watching for more detailed videos. Ridge stood alone, still in his tuxedo, the remnants of what should have been a perfect day hanging in the air like shattered glass. The soft murmur of the guests had long faded. The floral arrangements still bloomed, but their beauty no longer had purpose. And then, through the corridor came Taylor. Her eyes didn't hold the joy of a new bride. They held fire, sadness, and a quiet clarity Ridge had never seen in her before. She stopped just a few feet away from him. Her steps were measured. Her dress still flowed like a vision, but it was no longer the gown of a woman beginning a new chapter. It was now the armor of a woman who had seen the truth too late. 8 words. Just 8. But they would hit Ridge with more force than anything he'd felt that day. I deserved better than lies on our wedding day. That was it. That was all she said at first. Not a scream. Not tears. Just those 8 words, each laced with the sting of betrayal. And Ridge, who had prepared himself for a confrontation, for accusations, for heartbreak, was utterly silenced by the simplicity of her sentence. Taylor's voice hadn't cracked. She hadn't pleaded for answers. She didn't ask why he had kept the truth about Thomas and the CPS call hidden. She didn't beg for understanding. She simply stated a truth. Her truth. And that truth echoed in Ridge's mind. Over and over. Taylor didn't want explanations. She didn't want a second chance. Not now. Not after being humiliated in front of their family, their friends, and most painfully, in front of herself. You let me stand there, Ridge. You looked into my eyes and you let me believe we were finally getting everything we ever dreamed of. He tried to speak, but she cut him off before he could utter a word. No, don't. There's nothing you can say that I haven't already told myself 100 times since the moment I found out. And that was it. Taylor had reached the place of no return. Not because she didn't love him, because she did. And that was the cruelest part. She still loved him. That love hadn't vanished. But respect? Trust? That had evaporated the moment Ridge allowed her to walk toward an altar built on a lie. Ridge tried to step closer, but she instinctively stepped back. I'm not going to be that woman anymore. The one who waits. The one who forgives everything just because it's you. I've done that for too long. Her voice was calm, but Ridge could feel the storm inside her. Every word was soaked in the pain of years, not just days. This wasn't just about the wedding. This was about the pattern. The years of being second. Of being the fallback. The safe choice. The mistake that somehow still kept offering him another chance. I saw it in your eyes, Ridge. Even before the truth came out. You weren't marrying me because you were in love with me. You were marrying me because you were running away from something else. Ridge swallowed hard. He had no defense. Not one that mattered. Not one that could make the image of her face at the altar disappear. That moment when she realized he had withheld the truth and that he hadn't been fully honest with her. Taylor let out a breath. She wasn't done. And what hurts the most is that I would have forgiven you. Again. If you had just told me before the ceremony. If you had given me the respect of knowing the truth before I stood there, waiting to become your wife. She paused. Her hand slowly touched the place where her wedding ring would have gone. There was nothing there now. Just the ghost of what could have been. I wasn't asking you to be perfect, Ridge. I was asking you to be honest. And that was the heart of it. Not just the lie about Thomas and the CPS call. Not just the manipulation. It was the way he had chosen silence over truth. The way he had let her walk blind into that moment. That betrayal was deeper than anything else. Ridge's voice was barely above a whisper when he finally spoke. I never meant to hurt you. Taylor's response was swift. But you did. And you let it happen. He nodded. There was no denial. How could there be? I loved you, she said, her voice breaking for the first time. I still do. But I can't do this anymore. Not like this. Not when I have to keep pretending that love is enough. Ridge stepped forward again, slower this time. Taylor. She looked up, meeting his eyes. For a second, he saw the woman he had once fallen in love with. The woman who had given him a family. Who had stood by him through more storms than any one person should ever endure. But he also saw someone new, someone stronger. Someone who had finally realized her worth didn't depend on his choice. You don't get to fix this with words. Not this time. The silence stretched between them. I need time, she said. And maybe, just maybe this time, I'll use it to finally find out who I am without you. She turned, not waiting for a reply. Her footsteps echoed down the hallway, and Ridge didn't follow. He couldn't. He knew that if he did, it wouldn't be for her. It would be for himself. And Taylor was finally done being someone's emotional crutch. The disaster of the wedding wasn't just the exposed lie. It wasn't even about Thomas and what he'd done. It was about the choices Ridge made after he learned the truth. Choices that placed peace over integrity, comfort over courage. And Taylor? She had made her choice too. 1 sentence. 8 words. And in those words, she finally said what she had needed to say for years. Later, when Steffi found her mother alone at the Cliff House, the tears finally came. But they weren't just tears of pain. They were tears of release. I gave him everything and I lost myself. Steffi didn't try to fix it. She didn't offer empty comfort. She just sat beside her, letting her mother grieve. Not just the wedding, but the decades of emotional turmoil that had led to this moment. Taylor's strength wasn't in walking away. It was in not begging to stay. And Ridge? He returned to the Forrester estate, where the decorations still lingered like ghosts of a celebration that never happened. Brooke was there. She had come, maybe out of concern, maybe out of curiosity, maybe because something in her heart told her Ridge needed someone. But he didn't speak. He didn't try to make sense of what had happened. He simply stared at the wedding arch, the empty aisle, and the chairs no one would sit in again. Because nothing could erase Taylor's words. 8 words. That was all it took. The man who had always had 2 women waiting, now had none. And somewhere deep inside, Ridge knew. This wasn't just another dramatic chapter. This was a turning point. Maybe for him. Maybe for Taylor. Maybe for all of them. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.